That means at the end of this Pharaoh, we got the other two. We'll train them on the same technique, and even if we pay the same amount for the differential, you're still coming generally speaking 30 on top of this split right here, which we're going to move to inside of the permutation of the factorial combinations of how the standard gravity works for the meaning and definition of this dreadnought, brother. See, Predator Alien HUD and here work a little different. These people over here with array. I've been studying the base for the language, cuneiform, hieroglyphs, systems, because I always get X, right? Why? Because I'm a rookie. I don't really get Spanish, but I can do bilingual sign language, right? You know what I'm talking about inside of here. And with or plus, I'm like, man, now you can pen it in if you want. You could get that boat running to the derivative of that system. However you want to talk about the farm or which animals are 2x2 in it. That testing chamber. We can get into this one later about the gravity. Oh, she's up here somewhere, I think. Yeah, it might be in here. Well, we'll be needing all this here soon enough. Not that we'll need all of it, but I gotta have enough to pack out a couple of pages of the real basic ones that really cover the things that I'll need them to do it for the version of it that they're doing. Whatever, you gotta have at least mind to what that symbol references in the Putin, or was it this other one? Because they might be vastly different to the definition Agalagalaikum or Shalom. Inside of here, I can write this out with some numbers and some stuff as long as most of us get up-to-date limits on where I'm camped out here in the electron shell, brother. It gives you marginally prepared across the board. You see 5, you're thinking marginally prepared the operator, right? The next step inside of here could have been all that. And 5x is 6x3 at the decimal here. And that's a real bit about why you gotta have your own, and why I'm taking my get this, and then I'm gonna run them on. Well, obviously the field trip for Steffa and Jenna, into Dave's loan in the house with the concrete porch he's pouring in, to get the tax on time dilation and other things, to figuring it out, because the reality is, when you first get that what do they call them, spackling crew going, and they get out there with they're gonna dump it all over themselves on that first shot trying to do it, but that's actually how you do it. It's just real hard to get the math and why the arbitrary angles dangle on the thing on this just works in that. The bicycle standing up, right? The flywheel. Oh, man. So, we get this packed in. I mean, you got the scale on this. The words are pretty good, but then you got a little space in here. Do you want them all perfectly clean because they got them YouTubed fine? You know, that's great, but for just the hand-packed manual hand grenade, it's going to need to be pretty tight. Careful. Toss that in somebody's car, gringo. Diablo. Make it look like one of those, one or two of them, depending on how much you really want them to do. I mean, if you got the space, well, I'm just gonna slide this shit off. Well, brother, I'm counting on you to pull out the Hindu version of this. Ugh. Well, they did a good job. Did a good job. Now, because, like, so you have to look at it with a little bit of a lens if I give them the ASVAB standards, even if they were trained something generally before I got a hold of them and let them just look at it for a minute and be like, okay, it's got to be tight, there's going to be some numbers and letters I have no clue about, and then a real simple test that follows it up. You know, it's got all the geometry numbers, caught 3.145, you know, circumference, arc length, you know, whatever I'll need for the volume of the cylinder, sphere, cube, rectangle, triangle, cube, trapezoid areas, and parallelograms. What am I talking about here? The slope of the midpoint of the distance on that Ingling angle for the interior angles, exterior, or each interior angle to their differential lined up in compressed state over N360, you know, and it's like, okay, I'm good and fucked here, but the questions I'm going to give you should be a simpler version of that line that I'm not expecting you to take in three-dimensional Pythagorean theory here, you know.